Hello and welcome to our live talk on upskilling for digital transformation in manufacturing at Atlantic Technological University. My name is Margaret Mulchorne. I am coordinator in online flexible and professional development at ATU, and I will be your host for the live session this evening. Today I'm joined with Louise O'Gorman, Centre Manager for Advanced Centre for Professional Training at ATU Sligo. Welcome, Louise.
Thank you, Margaret.
And you're very welcome. And Professor Graham Heaslip, he's Head of School of Engineering at ATU Galway. Welcome, Graham.
Good evening, Margaret.
Today we will be chatting about the importance of upskilling for the digital transformation in manufacturing and what flexible learning courses can help you to excel in your career that we have at ATU. So just a little bit of housekeeping before we begin. We're not actually taking questions live during this talk, but you can go to the live Q&A session we have on the virtual platform. So you can submit any questions, just type them in there and our team will get back to you straight away. So we start off with you, Louise. I suppose we live in a digital environment and it can be a little bit confusing, the word digital. So digital transformation in medtech and biopharma. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Yes, sure can do. Thanks, Margaret. So digital transformation sometimes can be seen as a catch-all term, and we tend to think of it just from the technical perspective. But I suppose essentially, and I think of it from an industry perspective, and especially in the highly regulated businesses that a lot of our audience are probably here from tonight, like the medtech and biopharma, I think there's four core components to digital transformation. So first of all, we have the purpose. Why do we want to, or what do we want to achieve with our digitalization efforts? So think about any typical medtech or biopharma business. So do you want to achieve increased efficiency or greater business agility, or do you want to drive costs down or improve your customer experience? But ultimately, you want to gain or keep your competitive advantage. So before you embark on an expensive digital transformation journey, you need to be very clear about why you're doing it. And then secondly, if you think about your current processes, how could you use technology to optimize your processes? Now here we're talking about ensuring that you're as productive as possible. So for example, if there are any tasks that are repeated frequently and take up a lot of time, you might consider automating them. Another example would be to use data analytics, which can be really helpful in identifying areas of improvement. And I think by collecting and analyzing data, you'll be able to identify bottlenecks and remove inefficiencies. And there's lots of improvement examples, from implementing workflow management to investing in, cloud-based solutions. And then I guess the third leg of the stool is the technology. What technologies will help you achieve your aims in digital transformation manufacturing. And these are sometimes bundled under the umbrella of Industry 4, and this is a term that it's been around for about a decade now. And Industry 4 is normally defined by having connected devices, smart machines, and the exchange of information. So you might have industrial Internet of Things, advanced manufacturing, AI, digital twinning, collaborative robots, sometimes known as cobots, and so on. So these technologies, they've enabled this transformation and the automation of a lot of these manufacturing processes. And by implementing that, then you're resulting in increased operational efficiency and performance. But regarding the medtech sector, I know some of my colleagues have done some research which showed that Industry 4 related technologies, like the ones I've mentioned, they're easing the product life cycle, the regulatory compliance, which I think you would agree is a positive step. And then finally, we have what I consider to be, I suppose, the most important strand of digital transformation, which is the people. And for our audience here tonight who work in the medical device and biopharma sectors, you need to decide what skills need to be developed in order to implement the strategy or the purpose, and then ultimately benefit from the investments made in digital transformation. And that, Margaret, really is what we're here to talk about tonight. So that's a brief overview of digital transformation.
And that's interesting there, because you actually mentioned skills and skill gaps. And what do you think are currently the skill gaps in industry at the moment?
Well, to keep up with the innovations that we've been talking about, it's expected that the medical device and the biopharma industries will see more manufacturing solutions that will focus on areas like improving manufacturing agility, optimizing end-to-end manufacturing costs, compliance management, production operations. And one way we feel that this can be achieved is through training, reskilling or upskilling of existing staff. So irrespective of what industry you're in or what job you're doing, there's some skills that will be needed across all sectors. So we all need to improve our digital fluency, data analytics, cybersecurity skills are also key. And then you've got broader, more transversal skills, I suppose, like digital marketing and strategic leadership, which I think are also key. But focusing on our topic tonight of digital transformation in manufacturing, with more automated processes and robotics being used on the plant floor, it's actually creating more jobs within operations. So companies need workers who potentially understand robotics, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, as well as analytics. So with Industry 4 arriving, many new jobs either are appearing or will appear. And some examples that we're likely to see in manufacturing in the near future are things like, manufacturing cybersecurity strategist, smart factory manager. I've seen that advertised. This is somebody who uses maybe machine learning algorithms and AI to manage inventory levels and build schedules and so on. You're going to see digital twin architects. You're going to see smart quality assurance managers, collaborative robot technicians. So these are not jobs that are common terminology at the moment, but I see that as an increasing area. So in today's job market, I suppose many manufacturers are looking for workers that have several key skills, and I think that's kind of where we can get into on thinking about the specific programs that Graham and I can talk about across ATU.
Just on that though, Margaret, before you move on off this, yep. In the skills, McKinsey released a report recently which said that 1/5 of all global employees are going to be affected by automation, robotics, and artificial intelligence, how they're coming in, just as Louise was talking about there, this impact of digital manufacturing. And it's really going to provide new productivity enhancing jobs. So the audience that are here today, they'll be listening to some of the programs we're going to discuss, and they're going to really help them. If anybody just look back on COVID, you can see the importance of logistics and supply chains, and they're going through a huge transformation due to Industry 4.0 and the digital transformation. And if you think of that end-to-end piece for a lot of organizations, these areas that we're going to discuss tonight will have impact on people's careers. And it's great that people are thinking about them now and looking at getting in at the starting level around automation, mechatronics, and artificial intelligence.
And it's actually great you say that as well, because we do have many other programs, not just about the theme tonight. We have the cybersecurity and digital marketing that you mentioned too as well, Louise. So if people want to check out atu.ie/flexible, they can see that for September alone, we have over 300 plus programs starting. So Graham, back to you just for a question. Imagine if I was a student starting from a different background, what are my options to begin in ATU?
Well, you've got a few options. You can come, depending on what your background is, you can come in at a level 6 program that we could have in a higher cert in automation robotics, and right through to, we have postgraduate offerings in automation and digital manufacturing. But it depends on the level you want and the engagement you want. Some of our programs can be very hands-on, like 2 evenings a week and 1 day in the laboratory, or then some of them can be online, like our mechatronics program is online. So there's quite a blend there for students or for potential students from different backgrounds where they want to go. So we offer everything from level 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it depends on the level that you're at and you're comfortable with, and also whether you want hands-on in the classroom or whether you want to do a program online. So the online program we have would be work-based. It's the mechatronics stream that mechatronics program that's offered by ATU Sligo, and we also then the hands-on approach is the ones that we offer, the higher cert in automation and the B-Eng in automation and robotics. We also then have now a master's at level 8 in digital automation, digital manufacturing, which is work-based.
Brilliant. And you touched there on the blended approach as well, Graham. And I suppose on that, when people go on site for those evenings or those few hours at the weekend, would you have the training equipment then on site in ATU, or do you use equipment elsewhere?
Well, yeah, no, we have in all the ATU facilities, the equipment is on site. In Galway, there's been a huge investment recently around Industry 4.0, as Louise has been outlining there, and we've put a lot of money into our KUKA robotic cells and our Allen Bradley PLCs. We also have a program that is with a relationship with Thermo King, where we can use their Fanuc robotics training facility and the advanced PLC equipment they have. And most recently, then Boston Scientific have kindly presented us with some purpose-built training rigs to make sure that all the industry relevant equipment is available. So those companies from the medtech sector, Boston Scientific and Medtronic are engaging with us. And then from the manufacturing side of the house, we would have the likes of Thermo King engaging with us as well. So you use our facilities, or depending on the program, sometimes use the facilities in-house in the organization.
And that's brilliant. It's great to see how closely ATU work with the industry as partners as well. And Louise, on to you. What if I'm a manager or an engineer or, say, a technician in this industry, but would like to learn more about some of the aspects of digital manufacturing, but I'm not really interested in doing full qualification. I just don't have the time. I'm too busy, because we're all busy. What would you recommend?
Yeah, that's a great question, Margaret, because sometimes, people, they don't have the time to sign up for a full award, or they're not sure if they can balance work life and study. So we're trying to be more flexible in how we offer people their learning experience. So maybe they could dip their toe in to see if it's for them. They might take a single module 1 year and then sign up for a full program the next, if it's appropriate for them. Or they might just want to take a single module because that's what they need for their particular learning. So it's something that we've recognized in the last couple of years, and there's a particular program that we're working on, ATU is working on with UCD and TU Dublin, called the Advanced Centre. And we're offering this more modular and flexible approach, specifically in the area of digital transformation in manufacturing. And it's something what Graham mentioned as well. It's aligning with industry partners. So we're working on this particular project with Intel, Stryker, Medtronic, Analog Devices, AMD, IBM, Microsoft. There's like 16 partners across there, so it's great to have that link in as well. So people can sign up they could take a single accredited module, or they could take what's called a special purpose award, which is often like a subset of a major award. So in this area, for example, we would have something like an introduction to robotics module at level 7, and as it said on the tin, it's an introduction to robotics. People will learn about sensors, internal, external, actuators, and all that good stuff. For somebody who's starting off maybe at level 6, they could look at a module on automation programming, which is an introduction to PLCs and implementation in automation systems. So again, that's something for people who are starting off in this area. Then at the other end, at level 9, somebody who's working in the biopharma sector, for example, who may have a master's in science or a PhD, and they're working away in that area, but they need to get some of those Industry 4 technologies and skills. So we have an introduction to Bioindustry 4.0 at level 9. And what this does, this will provide students with this background to Industry 4, and also how this kind of conceptual framework can be applied in their particular sector. So they don't need to do a full award. They just want to learn maybe about how data analytics can be used better in their sector, or machine learning, how it can be applied. So it's taking that knowledge and applying it to their particular element of the manufacturing sector. So it's a really interesting way of learning. So and then there's also the blended industrial automation course, which is available on the Galway campus, which could probably suit some people here this evening as well.
Brilliant. Thanks, Louise. And actually, just to mention, mycareerpath.ie work very closely with the industry and doing a lot of pilot testing at the moment, seeking what needs and demands there are within industry and upskilling, and give advice on modules and programs they can partake in ATU. So Graham, next, what if I'm a technician and I hold maybe a level 6 in higher education or further education qualification in the field of engineering? What are my options with ATU?
You've loads of options, right? And you've loads of campuses in which you can avail of this. You can go from Galway to Sligo to Donegal. Any of the engineering faculties will have level 7 programs for you to go on. But in this discipline in particular, you can go 100% online and embrace the program we use in mechatronics that is delivered from ATU Sligo, but it doesn't matter where you are in the country. Or you can do a hybrid program, which would be 2 evenings online and 1 day on campus. And that campus would be the Galway campus, and that would be with the BEng in automation and robotics. And that would be in the state-of-the-art new labs that we have there. But like I say, if you're looking for a career in engineering, you can progress in any of our disciplines. But if we're just staying with the manufacturing at the moment, they would be some of the good options for you now, particularly, digital manufacturing.
And then we actually had a question in the Q&A session earlier. If someone completes a level 7 in quality, could they go on and do the degree in industrial engineering or industrial automation? The level
Yes.
8? They could. Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's
quality.
no problem. And if they've done that, it'll be probably mapped as well with the experience that they have as part of our recognition of any prior learning, but also that most people in that qualification would have undergraduate degrees as well, which would allow them to facilitate to go forward.
And so what if I'm an engineer in manufacturing industry or a science graduate with a technical role in industry who wants just to reskill or maybe upskill in the field? Is that possible?
Well, yes, and we're not biased against the scientists, even though we're engineers. Okay, we accept all comers.
Very open-minded.
Yes, we are indeed. We have higher diploma in automation, digital manufacturing. That's can be done in 1 year, and it depends on the level of experience that you have. Some engineers, rather than scientists, would have kind of be more in the field and already doing digital twin projects and so on. So we have a master's in automation, digital manufacturing, and that's done on a work-based research. So you do your research project that you're doing is based on the industry and the company that you're working for, and it'll help you upskill. So you can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, staying with your employer and working on a project that could help your career within that organization.
That's brilliant. I almost want to do it myself, Graham. So moving on, Louise, last question for you, and just looking at the time there. If I have experience in the field, but not the relevant qualifications, can I get advanced entry onto a program?
Yeah, I mean, ATU is a massive proponent of recognizing people's industrial experience, irrespective of where it's really come from. People can have wide and varied careers, but getting into the engineering field and becoming an engineer is a fantastic career opportunity. It's a passport to travel. There's so many opportunities within the engineering career. You've got a mix of knowledge and understanding. You've got investigation, you've got design, you've got a lot of transversal skills there as well. But if somebody has worked in a different sector, or they might have a craft certificate, we will look at recognition of prior learning, and whether that learning is coming from a prior accredited situation in another college, we can accredit that, or we can acknowledge that. But we'll also look at experiential learning, and that's where a potential learner for access can put together a portfolio of their prior experience, and we can assess that, and we can work with them to decide and help them on the best entry route, that matches up with their career ambitions, and maybe working with their learning and development department and their colleagues within their company as well. So we find a lot of the larger medtech and biopharma companies are really forward thinking on this as well, and they work with us. So there's some fantastic opportunities there.
Margaret, just before you finish up, I know we're coming under time pressure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Years ago, when quality came in, it was the medtech and the pharmaceutical sector that were driving the quality standards. Digital transformation is coming in, and it'll be these sectors that will be driving that transformation process. So for the audience that are here this evening, it's important to try and get 1 step ahead and be influencers and be able to be the change agents when it comes to digital manufacturing. So I would highly advise you to be looking at the offerings that we have here this evening.
Brilliant. Thank you, Graham. And just on the RPL, if you want to check out myexperience.ie in relation to recognition of prior learning as well. So we'll wrap it up there, folks. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen in. And thank you, Graham and Louise. You've been brilliant panelists this evening. There was lots of really good information shared. So if you want to watch back, we'll be uploading this video to our live talk session on the website. And if you're interested in actually doing any of the programs in industrial engineering, digital manufacturing, robotics, automation and quality area, do look at atu.ie/flexible, and you'll have the details of all the programs we have on offer as well. So thank you again to the panel here. And if you want to ask any questions, go over to the live Q&A session and type in your questions, and our team there will answer them until 9 o'clock this evening. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Thank you, Margaret. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.